سلام عرض کردم عزیزان، امیدوارم که خوب باشید. بنده افشین هستم از موسسه پارس افشین. ما امروز لایو خواهیم داشت با آقای استفان هاگلوند از دانشگاه لینئوس. استراتژیک در واقع منیجر هستن در دانشگاه لینئوسیشون و منتظر میشیم که خب دوستان هم جوین بشن. صدای ما رو خوب دارین دوستان؟ Hi Stefan.
Hi there, Ashkan. How are you?
I don't hear you very good.
So, is it better now? Can you hear me now?
Not that much different, I feel. But let's see the people hear us good or not. دوستان صدای ما رو میشنوید؟ از کیفیت صدا به همون بگید لطفا. I'm asking to give us feedback about the voice.
That's good.
I published a photo of us in 2017. I don't know if you have seen it or not.
I missed that, but it's a long time now.
Yeah, I wrote that it was 5 years ago, but we were much younger. You didn't change, honestly, but I got a little bit older. And these glasses, I think I should remove. So, we hear you, Stefan, about Línئوس University. We are working since 2012. Am I right? It's 10 years.
Correct. So it's a long time and much has happened, exactly. Both at the university and I guess for you also.
Yes, everything has been changed. Bacha, I'm going to shut down, close the comments, turn it off, and then I will open it for questions after Stefan finish. So then you can ask your questions later on. شما میتونید سوالاتون بعداً بپرسید. الان با اجازهتون میبندم کامنت ها رو که بتونیم فوکوس داشته باشیم روی استفان. Sorry.
Sure, no problem.
So about Línئوس University, how many programs we have now? Where does it located?
Definitely, I will give you some brief information about Línئوس University. So we are the 6th largest university of Sweden, around 40,000 students. We are situated in the south of Sweden. We have 2 campuses, so Växjö and Kalmar. So southeast of Sweden, you could say, close down to Copenhagen Airport and down to Denmark. So that would be the closest international airport. Mm-hmm. We are a very broad university. We have basically a little bit of everything, you could say. So we offer around 50 programs taught totally in English. And out of this, 9 are bachelor programs and the rest are master programs.
Great.
The bachelor programs...
I summarize a little bit in Farsi for guys to follow it up.
Yes.
دوستان، در 2 شهر ششمین دانشگاه بزرگ سوئد، اول از هر چیزی بعد عرض به حضورتون که در شهرهای وکخو و کالمار کلاسش تشکیل میشه، بیش از 40,000 تا دانشجو داره و 50 تا پروگرام به زبان انگلیسی. In 2012, why we started, how many it was, Stefan?
20? I think we probably had around 40 by then, so
it was
maybe
like
around 10 more programs.
Yeah. Last years.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, let's continue. So we offer both on bachelor and master level, and as I said, 9 is a bachelor level and broad spectra. So in bachelor we offer business, peace and development studies, computer science, and design, several different programs. And then master level, as I said, very broad. So a little bit of everything from engineering to social science, international affairs, to business, natural sciences, design. And also one of our flagship programs that we try to like to point out is our innovation program. So innovation through engineering, business, and design, which is given in collaboration with IKEA and Södra, which is a big forest and wood engineer in the south of Sweden. I guess that IKEA, maybe I don't need to present so much closer. Most people has heard about IKEA.
Yeah, they heard about everybody. پس بچه این پروگرامی که پروگرام های دیزاینشون در واقع پروگرام اینویشن ترو بیزنس اند انجینیرینگ بدن فسایز اند دیزاین با دانشگاه با شرکت ایکیا همکاری میکنن. Just the design program is having cooperation, or the rest of two branches of the program is also cooperating with IKEA?
All the branches for that particular program. And actually one glad news for that particular program is also that last week there was a decision taken that we will have a scholarship linked to the program, given from the University IKEA and Södra to one student, and it will be a full coverage scholarship, both covering tuition fee and the living cost.
That's great. That's really great. And for the engineering part of this program, still just mechanical engineers can apply?
No, it's okay with any engineering background. So all different engineers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's okay.
And with the design one, how much does it cost, this program? Do you remember, Stefan?
It's approximately 130,000 for a year of studies, up to 155, I think.
It's different. The business one is cheaper, and
yeah,
the design one is more expensive.
Exactly.
And then, what are the new programs we have this year?
This year we have a new in media and democracy. So we have a new master in media and democracy, and then from last year you also have the new one in energy and management.
Mm-hmm.
And beside that, also peace and development studies are also offered now on bachelor level, totally taught in English.
Before you had it kind of like
freestanding courses.
Yeah, it was freestanding courses.
Yeah.
And then now it gets bachelor. That's great.
Yeah.
And which of these programs have in general entry requirement for those?
So basically, for the energy and management program, it's demanded just any kind of technical engineering background, and that's okay. Come from any kind of specialization. And for the media and democracy, it's a rather broad program also, so it's okay with social science and humanities.
Social science and humanities. Bachelors in English language are categorized in humanities, or?
Sorry.
Bachelors in English language, because we have a lot of students in English language.
Yeah, I must pass on that question right now and have to double check, due to that it's the first time it's given. It's always learning and trying and see what is a relevant background. So I would say that most likely they will probably accept English background, but it's important that the student in that case also have a big minor in some particular area, which is more social science or broad humanities oriented.
Understand. And if you remember, on 2015, you and me, we sit together about the Bachelors of English of Iranian, and that time which you were still working in admission office, and started to for the first time started evaluating the English Bachelors of Iranian as a study in English, if you remember.
Yes, I remember.
Then, we were applying for information system program on that time. Until last year, still we were applying for information system, but last year many of them went to reserve list of the information system program.
Yes,
because they give priority to those who have like a technical background.
Exactly.
So 2015 من و استفان نشستیم با هم دیگه اینو در واقع این بحث ایوالویت کردن لیسانس های زبان ایرانی رو انجام دادیم در دانشگاه لینئوس. حالا الان همه دوستان دیگه هم دارن میپوشنش و کار میکنن روش. استفان خیلی ادمیشن منیجر قوی و قدیمیه. I'm telling everybody that you are a professional admission manager I've ever seen. You're really professional with all the details of the program while you were working in admission office even right now. One of the
that's what happened
in Sweden about this.
That's what happens when you've been working in the same area in like 15-20 years. Then you professionalize yourself and learn a lot about that particular area. So yeah, sure.
Exactly. Yeah, every day is something to learn, and it is going good. And Stefan, about the preparatory English course is going to stop completely. Am I right?
Yes, it's currently going to be paused for a while, and we'll see what happens. Because we have seen that some patterns also of students from other countries than Iran kind of misusing the course just basically to get into Schengen. So therefore, the university management have decided to put the 1 year pause at least for the program, and then decide about the future for it.
پس بچه ها کورس زبان دانشگاه لینئوس که قدیمی ترین کورس زبان موجود بود برای 1 سال رفت توی پاس. یعنی برای ترم سپتامبر. For September we're not going to have the English course anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be paused for a while, and then we'll see what happens.
پس تا از سپتامبر آینده و اسپرینگ آینده نخواهیم داشت کورس زبان دانشگاه لینئوس رو. حواستون باشه. Do you know the other universities like Dalarna and West, they were doing some courses similar to our course in Linux?
Yeah.
Are they also going to stop it because of the same problem?
No, I think I think they will give it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I haven't heard that they will pause it, so I think so.
Okay. And I also read about this misusing of the residence permit for students, and it was mostly for Pakistan. They wrote in their report of
they looked at Pakistan as an example, and therefore it's been a big discussion in Sweden in general nowadays, just to see how the residence permits for studies will change when it comes to rules regarding working or shifting to working permit and such things. So
exactly.
The more people misuse these kind of things, obviously it leads to changes in everything.
Yes, unfortunately it's going to change. I read also in the news that they're going to change. Do you think for the next August we are going to have some changes, or it takes longer time?
It probably takes longer time, so I would guess that maybe the year after there will be changes regarding rules for working and such things.
بچه ها از بس استفاده نامشروع شد از این در واقع رزیدنس پرمیت هایی که برای دانشجوها صادر میشد، الان اداره مهاجرت افتاده به فکر این که ببینن چجوری میتونن تغییر قوانین انجام بدن. چون فول تایم ورک پرمیت داشتید شما همیشه و الان هم دارید، از ملیت های دیگه می آمدن، حتی ملیت خودمون متاسفانه می آمدن و از این میسیوز میکردن این رو. حالا قراری که تغییر توش انجام بشه. به این آگست احتمالاً تغییری نخوره، البته هنوز مطمئن نیستیم، ولی از سال بعد حتما یه سری تغییرات خواهیم داشت. I translated this important part.
Yes.
And then you have a new course about the Swedish course which you have for like board personnel or some healthcare personnel. I heard about it. We didn't recruit anybody for that course.
I know that the Swedish is currently looking at different alternatives regarding how to develop the Swedish as packages. But as it is today, we have a full bridging 1.5 year in Swedish that the student could study. At the moment, they are given as freestanding courses, 30 credits at a time, 1 semester at a time. But it's full semester courses, so it's possible to study like 3 semesters of Swedish in order to get eligibility in Swedish, and after that study fully in Swedish at Linnaeus University.
Okay. Will they get like C1 based on what requested of the Socialstyrelsen?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure whether they have got it approved from Socialstyrelsen, but I know that they are looking at it at least and see if it can give that eligibility. It's totally okay, at least for continuous studies at Linnaeus University. But I don't think that the course package you are referring to for nursing students and everything is currently given as anyone to apply for, but it might be in the future.
Great, because it has a fantastic market.
Yeah.
Some institutions were doing it before, but again, they were misusing this also type of residence permit. That's why they stopped it from the Migrationsverket. I hope this university gets, and English 6 is the requirement. Am I right?
English 6 is the requirement, yes, as you say, to all university studies in Sweden nowadays. And then obviously, if you're going to study in Swedish, you also need your Swedish 2 or 3. Yeah.
in the university level.
Yeah, in university level, exactly.
Not for this course. For this course, it's just English.
For this particular course, just English, yes.
پس بچه این کورسی که الان اخیراً دانشگاه لینئوس رو انداخته یک کورس 30 واحدیه فعلا، ولی قراره تا 3 ترم ادامه داشته باشه، یعنی 3 ترم بخونیدش که بتونید الیجیبیلیتی بگیرید و پیش شرط انگلیش 6 داره، یعنی اون بحث آیلتس 6.5 آکادمیک و تافل 90 رو باید حتما داشته باشید براش تا بتونید تافل 90 and IELTS 6.5 which no band is under 5.5 if I'm right. Yeah.
Correct.
That they need to have it in order to be eligible to apply for this course of Swedish course in Linne. How is going on with housing? And before I finish, how is the residence permits of these courses, Stefan?
You mean for the Swedish course?
For Swedish course. Do they get it or not?
Course. Well, I haven't, I mean, this, talking generally about residence permit application is rather hard because it differs a lot from country to country.
Yeah.
And I know that there have been difficulties from students from Iran also to get the residence permit based on studies. And I mean, I think it's no big difference between courses that you study for Iranian students. I think it's more about whether you have true study intentions or not. So I think it would be perfectly fine to apply both for the Swedish or for a full program or for a bachelor. But it's always about the study intention. So it's really important that the student really aim to study what they are admitted to, and also that that they have a true ambition about what will happen after the studies, I think.
Because these Swedish courses, obviously everybody who's going to apply for it is going to apply for work after this. Yeah. And also another law which existed that any fulfilling requirement course for the other studies is not allowed to get residence permit. It has a little bit ambiguity in the law with this. I don't know really, do we get any student for it or not? Because until now I didn't dare enough to apply for it for any of my students, honestly speaking. Yeah.
It's hard to know right now. I mean, there is a lot of happening regarding residence permit due to that we have had the change of government also. So I know that in the agreement between the parties that are to rule and govern in Sweden now in the coming years, they are looking at all the rules regarding both residence permits for studies linked to working, and also what kind of residence permit a student can get after the studies also, and how much a student would have to earn in order to get the resident permit for working. So it's a lot of discussions going on in this area. I mean, most likely you will not see changes in the coming year, but after that things might start to happen. Yeah.
Exactly. خیلی چیزا بچه داره تغییر میکنه ها، حواستون باشه. اگر میخواید اقدام بکنید هر دری که الان باز هست از توش سریعتر رد شید. I always have a sentence that I'm telling to my students that any door which is open today may close tomorrow. If you are planning to do something, do it as soon as you can. Because next year we don't know. Also in our own job, if you remember, until 2015, we just get admission for these English courses, everything, and it was a kind of like a visa was guaranteed by Miracle. But year by year got difficult because of misusing it, I believe. And we were trying our best to stop this misusing, but we cannot do anything, honestly. And about the housings, how is going on with the housing?
Well, when it comes to housing nowadays, we don't have the housing guarantee we used to have for paying students, and that means that you cannot get it through the university. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I could say that after the pandemic and the changes of that they have new built rather much housing on campus, it has become much easier in Växjö to find housing. So I would say that for students who apply and also put themselves in housing queues by the time that they apply, there will be no problem at all finding housing. And then
so
obviously
them to apply for the housing exactly at the same time by sending application.
Yeah, as what they should do is to place themselves in the queue, because the housing queue works like that you earn like 1 point for every day you've been in the queue. And then when housing are available, they just announce them as available, and the students with the most points are the ones that are prioritized. So it's very important to be in the queue for quite some time to earn the points in order
what was
to
the website
get good
address?
chance.
Is it Boplatz or it is Weghostade?
Yeah, Boplatz.
Boplatz.
Yeah,
Boplatz
isn't it boplatz.se? Let me double check.
It's a Boplatz Wegho, I think, or Boplatz.se, I think.
Boplatz.wagho.se.
So, بچه boplatz.wegho که وکسجو نوشته میشه .se همزمان با تایمی که شما دارید اپلای میکنید برید اونجا رجیستر بکنید برای هاوسینگتون. Do they need to pay anything to be in the queue?
I don't think so. If there is a payment, there is a very low cost. I think it used to be like they talked about having 100 krona or something like that as a cost. So it's a very low cost.
Understand. Because we have problem of, we are under sanction. We have every day a new problem, you know.
I understand.
And we have problem
this was about Växjö, but then in Kalmar, I think we still have the housing guarantee, which means that the students are given housing through the municipality. So that should be not
that
be a
is
problem.
also Kalmar Hambit was,
Yeah.
I think.
Housing pressure is a bit bigger in Växjö than compared to Kalmar also. And also this is due to that we have a bigger part of the university in Växjö. So you could say that around 70% of all the programs are taught and given in Växjö. So that means also that the pressure on the housing market is bigger generally in Växjö.
Exactly. And for the families, how is going on? They should register the same way as they register for the others.
Yeah, when it comes to alternatives for housing, as you know, we offer everything from dorm to 1 room, 2 room, 3 room apartments. So there's a lot of different relevant alternatives, I would say.
Understand. And one more item before I start the comments is about the scholarships at Linné.
Yep.
How is the situation generally, Estefan? Who can get a scholarship?
So you could say that the main alternative for students is for master programs. So newly admitted master students are the ones that has the biggest chance of getting a scholarship at Linnaeus University. So basically what a student needs to do is to prioritize Linnaeus University as your first priority when applying to a master program to Sweden. It's only those students who will get the opportunity of applying for a scholarship. So basically what happens is that if you do that, you do everything in time and follow the instructions regarding applying in time, you will get instructions regarding how to apply for scholarships sent out in the beginning of February. But as I said, only for the ones that prioritize Linnaeus University as first option. And it's very important that you meet the requirements and everything.
And the deadline is the same by 2nd of February or February?
No, I mean, I think they have not decided exactly the deadline right now, I think, but they usually send out in the beginning of February, and then it's around 10 days that the students have to follow the instructions in the email. And usually it's that you are going to answer some particular questions and also fill in like a personal letter and then upload a CV. So these are the parts that we look at in the scholarship application besides obviously the documents uploaded when you apply for your program. So like university transcript, diploma, level of English, and that kind of things.
All of them are playing roles. پس بچه for scholarship برای scholarship ها دانشگاه لینئوس scholarship هم داره. بعد اپلای بکنید براش. فقط حواستون باشه اگر پرایورتی اولتون رو بذارید دانشگاه لینئوس الیجیبل هستید برای اپلای برای در واقع اسکالرشیپ ها. توی فبروری اصولا باز میشه. حالا هنوز دیتاش نیومده، دیتاش اومد. یه پرسونال لتر خوب باید داشته باشید and a good average of score, I think.
Yeah, so we look at the rather much GPA, grade point average, level of English is rather important
GPA
also,
and
obviously.
Age as well?
Sorry?
Age as well?
No, not necessarily. You know, in Sweden we are not so age discrimination focused.
Exactly.
So it's a lifelong learning. It's a lifelong learning.
Because for SI, for Swedish Institute, if you get older, you will have less chance to get the scholarships.
Yeah,
but
it might be that they look at it a little, but actually that's not the main focus. So it's more about that you have a relevant application, I would say.
understand.
And then beside that, what I described now, I would say that also if a student would not get a scholarship from the first year, we also have like a scholarship process for students in ongoing studies.
Mm-hmm.
And that is possible both for students on bachelor level programs as for master level programs. So basically for these students, they can apply from the second and or third year. So that's also a possibility that is open, but and then it's usually the scholarship process are in May. So last day to apply for that is 15th of May, and the instruction is given on the web.
پس بچه‌ها برای چیز هم داریم، برای current student ها هم لینئوس scholarship میده. Before you had a requirement of like 45 credits should be passed.
Yeah.
The first year.
Yeah.
It still existed the same.
Yeah, for sure, because it's more of a way to kind of not get students with low results to apply for. It's only like giving more processing for us, because we will anyway choose the ones that has finished all studies almost.
Exactly. پس بچه‌ها باید برای current student ها تقریبا که نه، تقریبا باید 45 واحد از 60 واحدتون رو حداقل پاس کرده باشید تا کوالیفاید بشید برای اقدام برای اسکالرشیپ ها. So I think I can open up comments. I know that it is Friday afternoon and you had a hard week, I think.
At the same time, I can also mention about the innovation scholarship program that I talked about. The innovation, so due to that is one of our flagship programs, and we give it in collaboration with IKEA and Södra. So from this year, we will announce one scholarship for this particular program that will be full coverage of both tuition fees and living cost. So it will be the same kind of application process as for our general scholarship program. So one such scholarship this year in collaboration with IKEA and Södra. And from next year, we will give one scholarship for each of the specializations of this program. So it will be 3 scholarships from next year. So this year 1 year, and from next year and ongoing 3 scholarships.
And that innovation program of design, it is a great program, really. All our students which they studied that program, every year almost we had students for that program. They were successful. They got good jobs, and it was a good program. It was really great. So I'm going to ask some questions from you.
Sure. Shoot.
So start with Hasti. Hi, Stefan. I hope you are doing great. From 2014 and 15, I was studying in Linux, and it was pretty easy to handle the Express. But I think the current situation in Iran. And you know Irani? Do you know about the situation in Iran, Stefan? Of course, we know it. We talk about it a lot.
Definitely. I mean, it's always like a big news in the Swedish news shows every evening and every day. So, I mean, it's horrible to see what's going on, I would say. It's hard to kind of express what you think about it, but obviously I wish that everything will go good for the Iranian people.
We too. We are also far from home, but our heart is there. قلبمون اونجاست بچه‌ها عزیزای دل. Please save this live. Of course we will save this live. We do our best to save it. Sometimes we cannot save the live by the Instagram problems. Then is there any way for applying for the nearest semester?
Yes, obviously. I mean the application session for the, I mean, if somebody is talking about the spring, then it's obviously too late because it starts in the middle of January, and it's going to be impossible to kind of apply for residence permit.
خانم رضایی احتمالاً برای spring شدنی نیست. پس برای is the nearest one is the August.
Yeah, I would say that the coming autumn is the possibility that would be given, and that means that you apply before the 16th of January, and then you will get announcement in April, and then the program starts in late August, beginning of September.
Understand completely. You know the current situation, blah 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 blah. So again, you know, the current situation in Iran, and you know, Iranian currency becomes so worthless. So it is very, very difficult for Iranian to pay the fee. Is there any plan for Iranian to be able to pay nothing special except the scholarships? I can say.
I would say that there is a constant discussion in Sweden what to do and how to help in this, but so far there has been like few direct solutions how to make it easier. But I mean, it's a constant discussion in Sweden how to make it easier for Iranian students, and I know that a lot of universities network in this and give each other good alternatives to do in this. But I can't see that there is a big change on this way.
Understand. Of course it is. بچه کار خیلی عجیب غریب و خاصی از دستشون بر نمیاد براتون انجام بدن. حالا شرایط ایران الان اینطوری هست، اینا نمیتونن در واقع کار خیلی عجیبی براتون انجام بدن. لطفاً سیف کنید. سرعت خیلی پایین ما نمیتونیم، الان لایو ببینیمش. They cannot see the live because the speed is low and they're requesting for saving it. بچه علاوه بر اینستاگرام توی یوتیوب چنل ما هم این سیو میشه. And my comment did not send completely, and I read it. So I'm waiting for Uppehållstillstånds court, and I might be arrive a bit later. Can we start the course online?
I mean, this is a common question, and I can't really answer that and say yes to it because it's up to every program course coordinator. And I would also say that it's a bit risky to wait for the resident permit card also if you don't know whether you will get it or not. So it's important that if a student hasn't got the decision on the application for residence permit by the semester start, I would urge everybody to apply for reimbursement before the semester start, because otherwise you might lose a bit more money due to the rules that we have at the university regarding when you have to apply for reimbursement and everything. So if you are to wait for your resident permit card, be 100% sure that you will get it. Otherwise, I would recommend you to apply for reimbursement before the semester start.
And this type of students who already have a positive decision,
then I think it's more easy to get a certain agreement with the program coordinator if you know that you will get the card, and it's only about the waiting for the card, because generally that can go rather quick if you are lucky to get the card in that particular situation.
بچه اگر که دسیژنتون اومده ولی کارتتون نیومده، پروگرام منیجرتون معمولا باتون همکاری میکنن، باشون صحبت کنید. اگر دسیژن نگرفتید هنوز، حتما قبل از شروع کورستون درخواست ریمبرسمنت رو بدید، چون اگر دیرتر بشه ممکنه دانشگاه شهریتون رو پس نده. اینکه حتما درخواست ریمبرسمنت رو بدید. Hej Stefan, du talar dig så försiktig om det pågår i Iran, precis som många svenska politiker.
Well, what to say? I mean, obviously, I'd love to see that the Iranian people are free from the current regime, but what can we do from here? It's hard to do something, unfortunately.
Good time. I'm Iranian dentist graduate from Azerbaijan country at last year. I want to study to English language duration of my study. I want to apply for Swedish language course in Sweden if it is possible. در مورد کورس‌های زبان بهتون توضیح دادیم دوستان که شما باید آیلتس 6 رو داشته باشید و بتونید برای اون کورس یک ترمشون اقدام کنید. ولی خود شرایط ویزایش خطرناکه، در جریان باشید. I answered the question. Sorry.
We offer a course, so you're most welcome to apply.
Exactly. فرآیند صدور ویزا چقدر طول میکشه؟ اگر تا حالا ریجکتی نداشته باشیم چند درصد احتمال قبولی وجود داره؟ Somebody asked a question is how long it takes time that they the processing time of the residence permit is how long, and if we don't have any rejection in our past history, how many percent of the chance do we have to get our residence permit?
Oh, it's impossible to say, I would say. I can't really answer that. I mean, yeah, it's basically impossible to answer on, I would say. Maybe you know better than me about this, Ashkan.
Exactly. بچه نمیشه. استفان was completely said it correctly. نمیشه اصلا درصد داد. هر کسی که بهتون درصد میده دروغ میگه. اینو در جریان باشید. خب اگه ریجکتی نداشتید قبلا، خب احتمال قبولی ویزاتون میره بالاتر، ولی سال به سال، شرایط به شرایط، آفیسر به آفیسر، اینا همه با هم دیگه متفاوت میشه. اصلا نمیشه ضریب و درصدی داد. About the residence permit, if the Sweden government helped the Iranian student, nobody knows yet. And I don't think if they give you any kind of fantastic advantage because of the current situation than before. Even it may get harder. We don't know.
Yeah.
شاید بچه اصلا سخت‌تر هم بشه از قبل و اینقدر توقع نداشته باشید. حالا شرایط کشور خرابه، الان بخوایم خیلی کار عجیب و غریب و خاصی از اینو توقع داشته باشید. تک نوس دمی که بترود خواهش میکنم. خب about the we have a student who studied midwifery and requesting for master programs related to this program.
We have a master program in health science, so it's a general program learning about health science. That would be perfectly okay with midwifery background, I would say.
As health science, master health science. For work personnel, for healthcare personnel, do we have any other plan than the Swedish course?
I mean, if somebody is aiming for a career within that area, I would say that, as you say, that probably Swedish and English is the first thing to start with, obviously. And then sometimes, obviously, you would need to also have a discussion with Socialstyrelsen regarding what needs to be studied in order to complement your previous studies. So I would say that start by the languages and then direct contact with the Socialstyrelsen to get an evaluation of your previous degree within the area, and then you might get a good study plan regarding what to study further in order to meet the requirements to work in the area in Sweden.
Exactly. And you know, they're mostly looking for a way to come, because if you send document to Socialstyrelsen, what they do is that they do kind of like a preliminary evaluation over the diploma, and then they say, okay, you need to have C1, you need to have the Kunskap proof, and you need to have like a 6 months practicing, blah, 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 in somewhere. Iranian students are mostly looking for a way to come to achieve this goal.
Yeah.
Before we were helping them with the Master of Health Science program, and they were mostly successful in it. They were coming here with health science program and get passion number, go to SFP, study Swedish, at the same time handle their study.
Yeah.
پس مستر هلت ساینس هنوز کماکان در دانشگاه لینئوس برای بچه‌های کادر درمانم بهترین آپشن بچه‌ها، به این دلیل که بهتون 13 ماه ویزا میده. The pilot program for the 2 years residence permit, is it still ongoing?
Yes, I think it's still running, so it's still possible to apply for 2-year residence permit, I think, yes.
But they have to stay in the residence permit of study during the 2 years.
Yes.
Get a job and something.
Exactly.
پس بچه ها میتونید هنوز کماکان ویزای 2 ساله درخواست بدید برای تحصیل در دانشگاه لینئوس. بعد در طول تحصیلتون، حالا اگه بیشتر باشه 3 ساله حتی، ولی اگر کاری چیزی پیدا بکنید نمیتونید تو اون دوره در واقع کار بکنید. خب somebody asked about the living expenses in Stockholm. Sorry, Mohammed, this program, Linus University, is not located in Stockholm. It's located
but generally in Sweden. Exactly. You can say that generally in Sweden, we would demand that you have around like 8,800, we could say, Swedish krona each month. So around like, say 90,000 for a year of studies, 90,000 Swedish krona, and that would be like
9,000 euros.
9,000 euros.
Exactly.
Approximately.
And somebody else asked, the same person asked that with the working, like a student job, how much I can earn.
At the moment in Sweden, as we talked about before, I mean, Sweden, as the rules say today, you're allowed to work as much as you want. There is no such limitation that you have in a lot of other countries. So as long as you produce studies and are here to mainly study, you're allowed to work as much as you want. But they will not offload you regarding how much you need to present when applying for residence permits. So it's still the 9,000 euros you need to present. So basically, see it as something extra that you do if you find it, and don't expect to find a job directly, because it takes some time to find a job. I mean, especially in Växjö and Kalmar, being small cities with a lot of students, there is a high competition for the part-time jobs.
Exactly, it is. And my last question. No, IELTS academic جهت ارشد سوئد چه نمبر است؟ What is the IELTS requirement? It's 6.5. 6.5 باید داشته باشید که هیچ بند زیر 5.5 نباشد. Stefan, I need advice from you. Somebody studied in Bachelor of Metallurgy. Which program in linear is matched with? Like mechanical engineering, did we get accepted or not?
It's hard to answer without having to see the degree. But I would say that both, like the innovation program that we talked about before, could be an alternative. And then also we have a product development program that could also be possible.
Exactly.
But we would have to look into the degree and see that the more general courses in mechanical engineering are in the degree also. But in that case, both product development, innovation, but also the engineering and management program.
Exactly. Engineering and management. I almost said the same, but it is engineering and management at the end. I didn't know about it. And still we have questions. That is, thank you for your answers. Do we have time to apply for September of Health Science? Yes, you do. الان هنوز میتونید اپلای بکنید. If we have an education gap, will you accept us?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I mean, we said before, Sweden is a lifelong learning thought. So basically, all students, no matter age, is welcome at the university.
Exactly. 5 years ago, I chose the wrong university and my visa got rejected. Is it going to affect for this time my residence permit?
No, I would say that they will still look into your residence permit application and see what the reasons are this time and why you are applying. And I mean, you can never say 100% sure whether they will be looking at it or not, but what they mainly should look at is the study intentions.
Exactly.
So they will probably look into that and do an interview. And as long as your study intentions are correct and you can prove that, no problem.
Even if the last time they give another type of information.
Yeah.
بچه این یه خورده تریکیه این ماجرا که در واقع اگر قبلا ردی داشتیم چی کار کردیم و اینا. ببین شما تو اون فرم میتونید یه سری اطلاعات بدید، تو این فرم هم دارید یه سری اطلاعات میدید، اینا نباید با هم به کانفلیکت بخوره، حواستون باشه. و استادی اینتنشن از همه چیز مهمتره، اینکه شما در واقع به آفیسر رو توجیه بکنید که هدفتون واقعا تحصیل بوده. Between my bachelor and master, I have education gap, which is fulfilled by a job relevance experience. Do we have chance of getting admitted? Yes, you do. ببینید برای ادمیشن اصلا نگاه نمی‌کنم به education gap. برای ویزاست که education gap یه خورده داستان دار میشه براتون. For admission, I said that is nobody's looking for your education gap. But while you go for a residence permit and you apply for the visa, then you need to have a logic that what you have done during this education gap.
Exactly.
Is the current situation of Iran has a negative effect on the residence permits?
Hard to say. I mean, maybe it will affect a little bit, that they will be a bit more cautious regarding why people are applying, and they most likely will do interviews to look at study intention with all students. But if the study intentions are true, once again, I think it will be possible to get the residence permit.
So, the questions will not finish, and I won't take your time anymore. Thank you really so much, Stefan, for your time. And as always, you are supporting us. As always, you are fantastically available always for Iranian, for our students, for Iranian students. And thank you so much for your time, really.
Thank you for having me.
I hope we see many Iranian students at Linet, as always.
It's one of the best student groups we have, I can truly say.
Thank you really so much. Thank you really so much. And having a lovely weekend as well.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you all. Bye, all of you.
Bye bye. خب دوستان عزیزم، امیدوارم که لایو براتون مفید بوده باشه و موفق و مؤید باشید. اگر میخواید برای دانشگاه لینئوس و بقیه سایر دانشگاه سوئد اقدام بکنید با دفتر ما در تهران تماس بگیرید. در خدمت مبارکتون هستیم و باید سریعتر انجامش بدید. آنچنان تایمی نمونده براتون و امیدوارم که موفق و مؤید باشین و همه چیز براتون خوب پیش بره. سوالی که امکان اگه باقی مونده به دفتر ما زنگ بزنید. دفتر سوئد ما هم خود بنده هم در دسترسیتون هستم و لایو رو هم سعی می‌کنیم که سیو بکنیم، هم توی یوتیوب چنل به خاطر این شرایط اینترنتمون و هم توی اینستاگرام. انشالله که موفق و مؤید باشید و سلامت. از همه چیز مهمتر اینه که سلامتیتون رو حفظ کنید. بزرگوارتان رضایی نه شما رو 6 نمره بدید. انشالله که سلامتی خودتون و خانواده‌هاتون حفظ بشه و مراقب خودتون خیلی باشید. عزیزین، خداحافظ شما.